My name is Brooke McGinnis, and I'm a student at the University of Arkansas. After much thought and many laps around Crystal Bridges Museum of American Art, I chose to research the sculpture of Diana. The beautiful sculpture is specifically located in the American Impressionism wing of the museum. She was sculpted in 1890 by American sculptor Frederick William McMonnies with the credit line, "Promised Gift." Frederick William McMonnies is a distinguished American sculptor and painter. He discovered his artistic talent while working as an apprentice under Augustus St. Gaudens in New York. It is through St. Gaudens that he was introduced to his two close colleagues, Stanford White and Charles F. McKim, who later funded his trip to Paris in 1884. While in Paris, McMonnies held residency at Giverny, the home of the famous French Impressionist painter Claude Monet, where he studied the art of sculpting under Alexandre Falguieri at the École des Beaux-Arts. It is in Paris where he attained his distinct Art Nouveau style. This is also where he sculpted his first life-size sculpture, which won honorable mention at the Paris Salon of 1889. This was his Diana, modeled after a Roman goddess of the hunt and the moon. She was his first significant work of art, which sparked his career as a renowned Impressionist artist and sculptor both at home and abroad. When approaching McMonnies' Diana, the first thing you notice is her unique stance. She is shown balancing on the ball of one foot, mid-stride, as if she just shot an arrow. Posed with athleticism and grace, the position of her body provides the sculpture with fluidity and a sense of motion. Although she possesses an unstable and off-balance body position, she expresses asymmetrical balance. Cast in bronze, the sculpture's surface is highly reflective. The shine factor brings immediate notice and might elude the viewers to the significance of the gold color in the bronze metal, being that this is a statue of a goddess. Diana, being a sculpture in the round, takes up space on multiple planes. The statuette stands 30 inches tall and has extremely naturalistic body proportions. She also has an individualized face, portraying a serene and effortless expression. The hard and stiff texture of her body contrasts heavily with the soft fluidity of her pose. These opposing factors provide overall balance of the sculpture as a whole. When analyzing the sculpture, certain symbols imply the relation the piece has to Roman mythology and the icons that have an important role. Diana's body position suggests that she just followed through with the motion of shooting an arrow. The bow placed in her left hand is a direct reference to the goddess who was worshipped in ancient Roman society. Besides the bow, she also is depicted wearing a crescent moon in her hair. This tiny decorative piece has much deeper meaning than a normal hairpiece. The Romans' Diana was also worshipped as a personification of the moon. The moon being placed on the top of her head is significant because it suggests that it is of utmost importance. Rome, being an agricultural society when Diana was worshipped, relied heavily on the lunar pattern when planting and harvesting the crops. The crescent moon and its placement at the top of the sculpture is a direct reference to Diana's supreme influence over mankind and their survival in ancient Roman mythology. McMonnies' Diana belongs to the Impressionism category of art. American Impressionism was taken highly from the movement in France in the late 19th century through the early 20th century. Impressionism embodies the power of naturalism. The use of non-professional models and the far-from-traditional posing of the statue also indicates the piece's impressionist stance. Diana also encompasses the impressionist value of seeming as though caught at a glance. Diana also shows major classical Greece influence. Although she is a contemporary naturalistic nude, she shares qualities of an ancient classical Grecian core. You can notice the Greek influence in the symbols she bears representing her as a goddess, such as the bow and crescent moon. What makes her different from a typical Grecian female nude is the lack of perfection in her body, which plays in contrast to the idealized statues of Greek and Roman gods from their ancient time periods. McMonnies' works can also be compared to other Impressionist artists of his time, both painters such as Monet and Degas, and sculptors like Auguste Rodin. Rodin's The Thinker is another Impressionist bronze of this time. Like Diana is caught at a glance, mid-stride, The Thinker is mid-thought. They both possess non-traditional poses and non-ideal bodies. The surface motion and fluid texture of both bodies emulates an effect of motion, which can be compared to typical Impressionist painting's brushwork, like that of Monet's Sunrise, an Impressionist painting of the same time. When I saw Diana in person for the first time, I was sure she would be a worthy choice, not only for the paper, but also for my own personal interest. I immediately could see the Greek influence of the core sculpture with a modern twist, and also loved the light and airy position of her body. Besides the fact that it is a bronze sculpture and the material happens to be considerably valuable, along with the famous artist, I would say this piece expresses much more personal value. The piece exuberates power and femininity, so just looking at it brings feelings of confidence and delight, which is the one true reason I chose this piece.